What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Few. It is Stone, Darrow, and Paul. No Mason today. Sorry, Mason. We miss you. Today, we are doing the weekly MVP odds. But before we get into today's video, like it if you enjoy it. Comment down below who your MVP this far through the season is. And subscribe to the channel if you like it. We post more breaking news and fantasy football advice for you guys each and every single week. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into this list. And we're going to start with Mac Jones, who is somehow snuck his way into the conversation at the 11th place position. He has plus 8,000 odds, and I think this is largely in part due to his 66.7% completion percentage that he managed this last Thursday night. Just absolute dime after dime in that game. And by dime after dime, I mean just those two dimes, because he was 2 of 3 for passing. I think he's just up there for his record. I just thought we should throw that out there. It was pretty funny.
I do want to correct you real quick. Monday night, not Thursday night.
Yep, my bad.
But,
Sorry.
We'll jump into number 10, Lamar Jackson. I feel like this is kind of rightful. He hasn't been playing very well lately. I know if you guys watched our recent videos this week, Mason kind of talked about it. He said he's gone through this type of stretch before last year. Week 13 on, he kind of killed it. But last week he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 55 rushing yards. That's not something you look for out of Lamar. And so rightfully he's sitting at number 10, plus 2,000 odds. And then we'll move up. We kind of skip a couple positions because we go tied for 7th, 3 ways. Dak Prescott, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Herbert, all plus 1,400. Dak, he's kind of having a normal season, up and down here and there. Don't want to talk too much about him. Jonathan Taylor, I think, should be getting a lot of the love. He posted another game, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, just literally carrying that entire team on his back. And then we'll get into Justin Herbert. I know you like to talk about him.
That's Justin Herbert. He's been my guy all year, and I feel like he's still getting a little bit of that disrespect, even though he's been playing very elite the last few weeks. He's been putting up these 3 touchdown games pretty consistently now in 300-yard games, because that's just what old Justin Herbert does. So I just wanted to do a quick glance up of there's a few guys that are above him that maybe shouldn't be, like, I don't know, maybe Patrick Mahomes, who's done nothing all year, or Matthew Stafford, who's been wishy-washy all year long, and I'd even say Kyler Murray just because of how many games he's missed. So I think Justin Herbert's getting a little bit of disrespect in the odds here with plus 1,400. I think he should be a little higher. His Chargers just pretty much mud stomped the Cincinnati Bengals, if we're going to, be clear about it. I mean, they let him back into the game and then just took off again. 41-22 is the ending score. So Chargers are a team to be scared of, and Justin Herbert's a big reason why.
Yeah, 100%. We will jump into 6, a guy who we kind of just briefly skipped over, going to Patty Mahomes at 5. Matthew Stafford, plus 1,200 odds. He had another 3 touchdowns. That offense, it's just prolific. We all knew what it was going to do, or we expected it to do. He's out there kind of showing it. They are having a little bit of dysfunction as a team overall, working through it. Still one of the top teams in their division, even though the Cardinals right now, I believe, have the best record in the NFC. Now we'll jump up to number 5, who you just talked about, Patrick Mahomes, sub 200 yards, 1 interception, had a rushing touchdown to begin the game. His odds are plus 1,100. We both agree that he should be lower. I personally would probably drop him to 7 and move all those other guys up. Getting into number 3, we got Josh Allen and Kyler Murray, both tied for plus 800 odds. Josh Allen didn't have too great of a game this week. Not that I believe. They kind of lost what I thought was I thought it was going to be a lot worse, seeing the news that they had a blizzard coming in Orchard Park or Buffalo. If you guys didn't know where they actually played, it's Orchard Park, New York. Yeah, not going to talk much more about him. Kyler Murray, his return after a 4-week absence, one of those weeks including the bye, 4 touchdowns, absolutely destroyed my Bears. But that's what happens when you get 4 turnovers and you start within the opponent's 30 4 different times. 2 rushing, 2 passing, hooked up with D-Hop early. But yeah, I mean, like Stone said, just based on the missed games, he probably could be dropped a little bit lower. Going up to number 2, we got Aaron Rodgers. He's jumped 1 place from last week where he was number 3, plus 600 odds, but he's coming off a bye. Not much to talk about with him. Number 1, as everybody expected, every single week, the GOAT. Tom Brady, TB12, Tommy Terrific. Um, I'm running out of names to call him at the moment. Plus 175 odds, another 3 touchdowns, another 300 yards through the air. I think it was like 360, something like that. One interception. Again, we talked about this in one of our recent episodes where I believe it was the talking about
Monday Med or
Chris
something.
Godwin and being a workhorse. Yeah. Oh no, it was the gunslinger. Yep. We talked about him where he threw that bad, poor interception to a defensive end on their own 10 with like 16 seconds in the half. But I mean, there's really not much bad to talk about. Tom Brady at 45 is dominating the league. He's dominating defenses week in and week out. And honestly, I think this is his to lose.
We could just, talk all day about Tom Brady, and we can talk all day about all these guys, but at the end of the day, let's be real. Tom Brady's really the only solidified number one for the MVP odds right now. I think just Jonathan Taylor deserves a lot more credit than what he's getting. I think he should be a top five guy.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert has a conversation for top five as well. I think you take Kyler Murray out just because he missed so many games, and man, don't even get me started on Patrick Mahomes. I've already gone off on it in an MVP episode I think 3 weeks ago, and nothing's changed since then. He's just had 3 straight games of not just mediocrity play, and it's just like I don't understand how odd makers can have him up there. Maybe because it's his record, he's 8-4, so they're like, yep, automatically he's Patrick Mahomes. He's our prodigy child. Let's throw him up there. But like I said, I'm not getting into it. I've already gotten into it a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. No hate to Patrick Mahomes. He's a fantastic quarterback. People just can't accept the fact that he's regressing this year. That's all. That's all I gotta say about that.
It's just a bad season, and like you said, they just can't accept it. I don't think he should be fifth, like you said. If I'm being completely honest, my top three would be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I think is going to he's gonna have a back second or a back third of the season, I guess, where he's just gonna dominate teams. I think it's gonna start this week in Chicago, unfortunately. But I think Jonathan Taylor and Justin Herbert should be pushed up as well. Jonathan Taylor, especially because we've talked about like last year when Derrick Henry, his 2,000-yard season, holding almost every single rushing record for the season, not overall. He was a high MVP candidate at one point. And I think that's the same thing Jonathan Taylor is doing. He deserves credit. He's out there busting his butt, putting up 140, 120-yard games like week in and week out, multiple touchdowns. I mean, he just doesn't get enough credit for that team and the Colts being in the position that they are.
Yep, I completely agree. And that's all we got for you guys today for the MVP episode of the week. Like we just said, we told you guys who we thought should be up in our top threes and top fives. You tell us down below in the comments who you think should be in your top three, top five. And like the video if you enjoyed it today. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what you're listening to. We make content like this each and every single day about fantasy football advice, MVP odds, and breaking news, and anything else related to the NFL. So if you guys enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us out immensely. And usually, at this time, I'll give things over to Mason so he can get us out of here, but he isn't here today. If you guys saw the video earlier today, Paul broke us out, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to do it again for us.
Hi, I'm Paul. We're the Fantasy Few. Let's go.